Friends, today I am coming to you with Wow Series 10. You may be wondering what is the topic I have chosen. I have chosen the topic of life and 3 Ds. Again, you may be wondering what are these 3 Ds are. First D, only some people are affected in the world. Second D, most of the people are affected. Third D, everyone is affected. Therefore, let me talk about these 3 Ds one by one. First D is I am referring to disability. There are 2 types of disabilities. One is congenital disability, another is disability developed as you grow old. Congenital disability means what? Somebody is born dumb and deaf, somebody is born blind, somebody is born without legs or without hands, or sometimes without 4 limbs. These are all possibilities are there, and therefore, when the kid gets these disability, when the kid is a kid stage and is very young, kid may not know the impact or effect of it. But as the kid moves into the society and moves with others, then the kid is subjected to lot of ridicule, lot of humiliation, like that things may happen. But in that case, lot of support is required from the family members, siblings and close relatives. Then the kid can grow. I will give an example of one famous gentleman by name Nick Vujicic. Spelling I will tell you because pronunciation may be something slightly different. Nick Vujicic. He is a famous motivational speaker. He swims, he plays, he takes his kid on his shoulders and skates, but you will be surprised, he is not having both hands and both legs, but he is one of the top class motivational speaker. I want you to see in the YouTube, type this name Nick Vujicic, then you will understand. Nick Vujicic. Sometimes I get slightly confused with the spelling, but you see the Facebook or in the YouTube, you will get a lot of videos about him. He is such a fantastic person that anybody with any disability, I am talking about the congenital disability, will get motivated to do something better. Recently, I saw a video of Jia Roy, daughter of Madan Roy, a naval officer. She swam from Telemannar in Sri Lanka to Dhanushkodi in Tamil Nadu. 13.10 hours she took, but she swam through. She is known as the youngest, fastest female swimmer of Park Straits. Then you may say, what is so great about it? She suffers from autism. That is the specialty of it. 13 years girl swimming from Sri Lanka to India, that too being autistic, is one of the greatest achievements. Please remember, everything is possible. I know some of my people whose children are autistic, they do Bharatanatyam, they play harmonium, all those things they do. Therefore, disability need not confine you, the person, to the wheelchair or something like that. I want you to see these videos and on YouTube of that Nick, you will be really surprised. Then there are disabilities which may happen when you grow old, in the sense you may become partially deaf, partially blind, things like that, and you may stutter, you may stammer, things like that. For example, take my example. I lost my hair. People used to say when I was young, I was having a haircut of Devanand, but now I am like Anupam Kher. But it's a different issue. I was in a position to handle it in a much more proper way. Therefore, don't get obsessed with what you have lost. Please think of what you are having and try to build up a beautiful, lovely life in spite of the disability which has developed. Try to find out what best you can do to take care of disability. Maybe using a hearing aid, going for a LASIK operation, whatever it is. But try to think, don't get obsessed with what you have lost. Try to build up a new life and be happy about it. Therefore, disability you can handle in a different way. That is why I said disability affects only a few people. Then second is disease. Disease affects lot of people. As you grow old or sometimes you are young, when I am talking about disease, I am not talking about cough and cold or a cough or just a cold or a fever. I am talking about major diseases like Parkinson, disc displacement, tuberculosis, cancer. These are the things I am talking about. But how you deal with those things, that is most important. Only thing I am not going to talk much about is Alzheimer's disease, because I don't know how to deal with that subject also, except some suggestions I make. If it is possible for you to see the movie Still Alice, Stillalice, it is a real story of a linguistic professor of Columbia University by name Alice Holland, ALICEHOWLAN. In the film, Julianne Moore and Alec Baldwin, famous actors, they have acted in the film. Fantastic movie. If you can't see the movie, try to get that novel and read the novel. I read the novel and I also saw the movie. A fantastic movie, how Alzheimer's is dealt with. Recently I was seeing a video of a famous IAS officer by name Jannat Hussain. He was a model for a lot of young IAS officers. He worked as a principal secretary for 2 or 3 chief ministers of Andhra Pradesh. Now he stays in Suldurpet in Andhra Pradesh with his second son. And he has developed this Alzheimer's disease. When he walks on road, always somebody is always with him to guide him and bring him back. But with the greatest loving help of his wife and children, especially second son and others, he is trying to come out of it. Therefore, friends, remember that anything is possible if you are having a loving relationship with your people. Then I am not talking about those things, I am talking about the other diseases. I will tell you an example of a friend of mine, not a friend of mine, a colleague of mine. When I was working as a Deputy General Manager in State Bank of Travancore, Ernakulam zone, I used to have an officer who used to deal with personnel matters, PERSONNEL matters. Her name is Ammakutti Varasia. After retirement, she got this blood cancer. Can you imagine? 15 years she had this blood cancer. From Thrissur, she used to go to Trivandrum for treatment. But 15 years she has seen the whole of Europe and many countries she has seen. And once she showed me a certificate given by her group of friends and a doctor, longest cancer surviving member. Whenever I go to Kerala, I will make it a point to go to Thrissur and go and visit her in Edakunni Matham. And last time when I went, they gave a beautiful lunch. She and her wonderful daughter Dhanya, they gave a beautiful lunch to me. Of course, she is no more, but the way she lived her life, even after knowing she had cancer, is excellent. But most of the people try to get into frustration. Most of the people curse the world. They say, what is this life? How this has happened? What can I do? This is meaningless. This life is meaningless. No, don't get obsessed with your disease. Try to find out what are the best ways to deal with it. What are the medicines to be taken? Don't go on searching Google and find out what are the negative effects. Go for the positive effects. How to do, what type of good food you have to take, what type of exercise you have to take, what are the medicines you have to take. And with a loving, close relationship with your siblings, with your spouse, with your children, you can come out of it more successfully. Therefore, disease, do not get obsessed with what you have lost, but try to live more happily now. Now, the last one I am coming to is D, which affects everyone in the world, that is death. Jatasya maranam dhruva. Everybody who is born has to die. Everybody is created will get terminated. That is a Sanskrit sloka, Jatasya maranam dhruva. Therefore, do not worry, do not going on thinking about death and death, what will happen after death, before death, will I suffer, and etc. Even if the bridge comes, you cross the bridge. You will be surprised. My personal example I will tell you. I was slightly worried about the death, in the sense I am 76, my wife is 74. My wife is having slight diabetic problem, thyroid problem, BP, low back pain. I used to think what will happen to my wife, because one of my daughter is in Atlanta, another daughter is in Delhi. I used to wonder. Last year I went to a friend of mine, a close friend of mine, his name is Kasturi Nageswara, he is very close to me. I was sharing my concern with him that what will happen to my wife if something happens to me. Then he was laughing. I said, why are you laughing, Kasturi? He said, sir, when you die, I know pretty well you will go to paradise and you will be sitting on cloud 8 or cloud 9 and doing some musical instrument. And you are not bothered what happened to your wife because you don't even remember. You are in paradise. But he said, I am sure, sir, your wonderful daughters will take care of your wife. Then my thinking has slightly changed. Now I don't much worry about that, neither death of mine nor death of my wife. I also always think of the Sanskrit sloka. Please remember, Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pusti Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mruchor Mukshiya Mamruta. That means, like a ripened cucumber is taken away from the creeper, God takes you away from the life. Therefore, be prepared to go gracefully and lovingly. That is more important.